All right, today we will ponder over the topic authority over control. So, we have been discussing about the inner authority, the inner stability, the ability to be in that space of I as a steady, continuous presence. And where does this control come into the picture here? The minute anyone is given that authority, let's say I'm made the principal of a school, suddenly somewhere I see my behavior changing. I want things to happen according to my ideas or my schedule, or I want certain people to listen to me. What's happening there? The authority, in a very crude understanding in the world, we are not talking about that kind of an authority. We all feel it as long as I'm aware of it. And I need to exercise my authority because there's a time pressure, there is a schedule or cost involved, and I do not have time to explain. Yet I do it, exercising my authority, but with respect, without putting others down. In certain circumstances, it is acceptable. But we are talking about that authority, even though I might have that position power given to me, coming from the inner order, not the outer power. Like when you look at example of Gandhiji, he did not hold any position. He was not like a wealthy influencer or businessman that people would align with him, listen to him. Yet he influenced half the world. Where did that power come from? We have talked about how my thought, my feeling, my ability to do must be aligned, so the guidance naturally follows. Somewhere I have these insights, I have these intuitions that kind of nudge me towards looking at myself. I become an observer of my own self. Am I exercising the authority that is coming out of respect and reverence? Or is it coming out of the power or habit? Sometimes I do not have patience when someone questions me, someone in authority questions me, someone who I have perceived as an authority over me questions me. I lose my patience, I lose my authority, I lose my ability to stand my grounds. And then later guilt follows, and I am now unable to say sorry to that other person, and I kind of carry it within me. And we have talked about fragmentation also. So somewhere there is fragmentation because my thinking does not align with my feeling, and my actions talk some other language. So what is this authority? How can I get it? There are many different practices, but one of them that does help me is to observe every interaction I have during the day. Any small interaction. my I've set an alarm to wake up at a certain time, it goes off, I shut it down, and I go back to sleep. When I wake up, oh, I've lost it. I'm in rush, I'm shouting at people, I'm yelling at the geyser for not heating the water quickly, all sorts of things. I have lost my authority, my control over myself. And it's not even control. Control is a very wrong word. The minute I use that word, there is already authority in a very rudimentary way showing up. That presence, that I am aware, yes, I snoozed the alarm and I've woken up late. I have less than 15 minutes now to get ready. What best can I do now? If I can take 30 seconds and come to the presence, somewhere there is an authority established. especially when children are looking up to us. Mornings with young children going to school, households are crazy. I have to heed to so many different things, and I'm running and I'm catching up and starting my day off on the wrong foot. The more we try to control, the less authority we'll actually have. Somewhere the control is coming out of that inner fear that I missed, I'm late, I'm always late, the blaming comes. But remember, we are human beings. That ing is continuous present tense. I'm continuously becoming what I'm destined to become. I am in the process of making. I'm not perfect. I'm not there yet. That gives me this confidence that yes, I can do a mistake, but I can also correct it. That absence of inner fear is authority. And go through your day and see how many times I'm operating out of that fear of missing out, of hurting someone, of not catching up, of not respecting, of fear of being exposed. We talked about a few different kinds of fears. Why are they coming into picture? Where have I lost myself? So it could begin as a small practice, where I just sit and reflect, presence, being in the now. What is happening within me? What are those fears, inconveniences? What are those expectations that I have developed? I have of others, and I fear that people have of me. And the things that I'm trying to avoid, become present to those. The presence educates us more deeply for ourselves, right? And my presence before my children in the classroom or in the house educates them more profoundly than my instructions. Just be present. There is this little book. It just said, be quiet. It's not just shut up and just sit in a corner without being bothered. Yes, I am responsible, but I am using my words carefully, thought out words. I'm also available to demonstrate it. I'm also available to accept it if I have made that mistake. That availability is the presence, is the authority. Right? And it has to be cultivated. That is when I start looking into my own self and see what is the discomfort I feel within me. Every belief that is not serving me, every coping mechanism that I have become accustomed to is going to give me a discomfort in my body. And feel that discomfort. Where is it? Where is it coming from? I don't have to blame. It's instantly I get to blaming. My mother did this, my spouse did this, my neighbor is doing this, the milkman has not delivered milk on time. But then question, if the milkman has not delivered, is it the end of the world? Can I still be in integrity with myself? And especially those of us who are working with people, teachers, community work, anything, doctors, nurses, you will see us burning down very quickly. We snap back so instantly. And some of us stay in that authority saying, I am right. Why should I be listening to? I did right. Why did they not inform me? And if I can pause and question, why should I be informed? Now, what happened because I was not informed? Now, can I still function and contribute without being informed? Is that a possibility? I mean, there are a lot of these stereotype dialogues that you hear. How do you go without even being invited? I mean, I'm weird. You know, I go if I want to go attend a wedding or an event, I go even without invitation. I don't have to have those people come to my house to invite. But then there is another set who know they are wanted, who have had a very good relationship. For whatever reason, they were forgotten to not just to be invited, maybe they had invited, but reminders. And then they're like, okay, that person was reminded, but I wasn't reminded, so I'm not going. So what hurt in that process? If I can pause and question, and that questioning is what I want us to develop. Because many of us just go based on my conditioning, my beliefs. And if it is serving me to stay afloat, and if you're happy, maybe we can accept it. But somewhere, if I am not happy, and it's like chronic unhappiness, and I'm unhappy throughout the day for one or the other reason, and you will find many of us, even we going through that during the day. Even when I get a handle of something, I start judging others. Why can't they get? Why can't they share? Why can't they be nice? Because I am nice. Again, that's a demand. So I want us to see that loop we get into and lose our presence, lose our authority, and somehow become to control the situation because I'm the class teacher, because I'm the mother, because I'm the senior in the school, because I've lived here longer and the new tenant who has walked in must listen to me, because I pay my house help. There's so many reasons why somebody should listen to me. And somewhere we lose our identity in this whole process. So when there is that freedom, when I feel that inner freedom, not obedience. Obedience is again doing, children are obedient. We say this child is very obedient. What does that mean? They're listening to me. They do not question me. So somewhere I am right. When you are in authority, you encourage the debate with children. Because we had those questions when growing up. And we wanted to talk it out and argue and debate with my parents around, teachers around, just to understand. Now, the minute a child grows up to have a sense of authority around the age of 3, and every third year thereon, 6th year, 9th year, 12th year, 15th year, there's a 3-year developmental cycle that Steiner proposed. And every one of the multiples of 3, we are somehow attaining certain maturity in that I constitution, that identity of who am I constitution. And every one of those junctures, I am going to be testing the authority around me. And that is the only way a child develops to become that integrated human being. Why should I wear this shirt? I do not want to eat the apple you have cut for me. Is a 3-year-old speaking. Questioning the authority of the parent. A 6-year-old is, I am going to go to school by myself. You don't have to come to send me off. Why is the teacher liking that child better? Why is that child given a toy and not me? Is a 6-year-old speaking. A 9-year-old would be like, do I have to listen to you anymore? I'm as tall as you and I can do so many things. I have my own way of doing things. I'm not going to come to the wedding with you. I do not like taking the test today. But then we have general roles, everybody goes through this FA4 exams. That's it, no questions asked. That's okay. We have to follow certain rules when an organization exists. But 9-year old has that question, can they even ask it? Same way 12-year-old, 15-year-old, we know that they are out there to prove us wrong. And that is the only way they develop. And if a 15-year-old is questioning us, proving us wrong, I must be happy. That identity is blooming. They are becoming that human being they're supposed to become. Otherwise, many of them will turn out like us, where we fear questioning our parents till date. We fear questioning our authority. I know this plan does not work, but I won't say a word because I'm only a junior, because I'll be put down, because I'm afraid that my job may be taken away. I lose my authority there. And now that we are in certain position or authority, can we encourage that within the children? And can we assert that within ourselves? Because that is my inner freedom. That is what makes me be a human being. That is the quality of a human being in authority. Otherwise, I behave like an animal. There is no difference between me and the animal kingdom. Authority that is conscious awakens that freedom within me. It is not simple obedience. Right? When that authority is fully seen, when I see that I am in authority or I'm not in authority, I'm gravitating towards the control because I have a fear of losing out. When I can see this happening, then it becomes a quiet leadership. I'm not all there all of a sudden. Some of us can get there, but it's a process. And in that process, I need to allow that to develop. I need to become aware of it. I need to see where I am hurting. Then I can relate to someone else in a similar situation hurting. Typically we hear this new teacher in a school setup comes in and goes through pain and she survives. And when another new teacher comes in, the pattern repeats. And somehow there is a fear that what if someone becomes better than me quickly? And all of these are ingrained, all those competitions and comparisons we have set into the system in the name of motivation. In the name that you have to survive. It is a world where you cannot survive if you don't compete. We are losing ourselves. Where have I lost myself? Forget about others. Where have I lost myself? Where I do not walk with the dignity of my own self. It is not walking with dignity, putting somebody down. Am I okay if someone does not wish me this morning? Am I okay when parents comes with their concerns and complains about me or my teaching or whatever? And then can I sit with the parent and understand the pain of the parent and understand where I might have made the mistake and be willing to correct that? Do I have that kind of an ability, or am I too sensitive to judgments, which is still fine? Become aware. Right? Being sensitive is a very great quality. If I'm not sensitive, then I do not even see the pain, pleasure around me. I do not see those pairs of eyes looking at me, asking for help. I'm oblivious to all of that. Am I even present? And of course, this transition is going to be painful. It is not easy because I have to confront my own fears. but it's not impossible. And it is temporary. The transition phase is temporary. And all of us go through transitions. The more gracefully I take it, the more openly I take it, the more I take it with awareness, you will also see the benefits and you will also begin enjoying the process. That is when authority becomes presence. It is not control. And that is what all of us are marching towards. That is human being becoming. That clarity with which I can be present to any situation, take responsibility, will become my authority. So, understanding this, make sure that nothing is imposed on the children who are under my care, who I can influence. I don't impose, but I'm holding it all together. And it's okay if I don't hold it one day. Try it again, try it again. And be okay with sharing it. I don't know how to hold it together. Can someone help me? That openness is also going to bring us together, because all of us are suffering, trust me. All of us are going through one or the other challenges, one or the other time, continuously. And that's the beauty. Otherwise, the standard kind of problems that animals have. They're happy as long as they have food, they're happy as long as they get water, they go wherever, eat whatever. They're same pattern. But humans, we are not that. We are with the different levels of consciousness. And especially being parents and teachers, I need to exercise that consciousness so I can influence my children to become that authority themselves, to take that charge, to become responsible. Thank you.